Hello everyone. In this lesson, you're going to create a simple homepage like this. On the left hand side, I'll have my company name. I can change it. Then I have few navigations menu, about us, services, team, contact us. Then I got on the right hand side login and registration. That's the basic. Then I got some content here. So that's the intention. We're going to create something like this. To do that, I have created a file in my view member, which is called test_home.html. I can write test home PHP as well, but I don't have any PHP code in this here. That's the reason I just gave the name test home.html. So when you create the test home.html in the view member, it's going to give the template like this. So first thing is I'm going to change this title to test home. Okay, and in my head sections, I'm going to do the few things. I already typed the code in my notepad, so I already got the code. So in the head section, so whatever the things is missing, especially the things I need after the title is the link page. Okay, I need to give a link for my style sheet. So I'm going to create the file which will be the teststyles.css. So I'm going to give the links to here. Okay, in the head sections. Okay, I'm going to make sure this is in well aligned. So that's done. Now in the body sections, I need to do the few things in the body sections. First things is I'm going to create navbar things. What are the things for the navbar? And this is for my company. What will be in my company? I'm going to create a class, nav class. So I'm going to create this part. This part will be for, I have created a div, and in the div I have created a class called nav, and now this section is for my company name on the left hand side. Next thing is I'm going to create my nav menu, okay, which will be here. Okay, then this is for about us, services, team, and contract. Next things, when it's done, I'm going to create my login and registration things. So I create it, login and registration, then I just close my div. Okay, close my div. Okay, if I save it, I put on my testing server, yes, and I run it here, wd2 with test home test underscore home home dot html. Okay, you can see it's nicely come here, company name, about, service, and everything. So I didn't do the CSS. I'm not worried about the CSS at this one, but it looks fine. Next thing is we'll be doing is our content. What are the content is going? All the content we're going to put. These are things for the content. I'm going to copy these and I'm going to put my Dreamweaver. These sections will be for the content. Okay, I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller so that, okay, and I'm going to run this anyway. And so that will be my thingy for my content. Okay, that's the things for my content. Okay, this section is the content. I'm going to save this again, and I'm going to push on my testing server, click that top arrow and put on the testing server. Then I refresh this page, is coming home. As I told you, so it's fine. As I told you, if I just change this file name to .paste as well, for example, I want to rename this, edit, rename to the PHP, sorry, test, edit, and rename to .php, PHP, okay, and okay, test home.php and upload here, and I go back and change here to my PHP. Still the code runs fine. Okay, there's no issue. So you can, if there's no HTML, it's up to you. If there's no PHP, you can keep HTML, but if you want to see all the file got the PHP extension, is absolutely fine as well. Later on, if you get the PHP, you can put your PHP file. That's the advantage of you can put your PHP file later on in the same file. You don't need to separate it. So I have created my HTML, it's look like this, but we have to make sure that we create a file called teststyle.css, so our CSS goes here. So I'm going to copy these things, and I'm going to create a file, new file, and that file name will be teststyle.css. Okay, and I'm going to open that file. That's CSS. At this moment, we do not have any CSS. I have a file also for the CSS, and I'm going to open that, and I'll copy it to save some time. Okay, that's my CSS things. This is for the body sections. If I copy these and put onto my body sections and save it, then put to my testing server, and then go back to my this file, and see you can, there's no margin, no padding, it changed. Next thing is for my navbar. I just copy these things, put to my navbar in my Dreamweaver navbar. You can pause it, then you can type it, and I save this file. I save this file, and I go put on the testing server, this up arrow and testing server, and if I go back and run my code, you can see my navbar looks better, a little bit better, but of course you need to sort out again. So I go back to my notepad, and to make some more changes, I copy this for my navbar brand, which I created, and I put here and save it. And again, I'm going to upload to my testing server. I go back and make the changes. You can see my company name is here, and there's still login and registration is fine, but still I have to make sure this dot doesn't, and it should be one after another. Okay, so that's the few things I have to do. So this is for my nav links. Okay, what I'm doing is list style type none. If I put these things to my code here, okay, and I've saved it again, Control S, I put on to my testing server, and go back and make the changes. You can see this, which dot, the list dot thing is gone, but I need to make sure there's a space, good space here, they are next to each other. I need to put the space, and I go back to the code. I'm going to give some margin, go back to the Dreamweaver, and give some margin here, and I save it, put to my testing server, and I make, now you can see good amount of spaces. This looks much better. So I have to tidy up also a little bit. I can see there's underline and everything. So I go back, and I need to make sure I remove the underline and also the text, this text color to the different things. Yeah, different color. Control S, then I put again to my testing server, clicking this up arrow, and I go back to my code, I run it. You can see the color it change, and it looks much better. Okay, next thing is, last thing we'll be doing is for the login and register. Okay, we're going to give some margin on the right. Okay, and this one how it looks like, like this, but we're going to put some margin here. Okay, and if I go back to my code, I paste it, you can here, and I save it, then I put to the again, click top arrow, this goes to the testing server, and I say run this file. Okay, that's fine. This looks fine. I'm happy with this. And now if you want to change your company name, you can see, for example, what are the company name you can change, any changes you can do. Now next things we'll be doing in the other lessons is we're going to create a register page, and we're going to connect with these registration things, yeah, with this one. So to make sure that registration, I'm going to make some changes here for my test.home PHP. I'll be giving this about and services. My main intention is this will create later. For example, this will be test login, TEST test login .php, sorry, .php. That's the file I'll create later on, and this will be maybe the test underscore register.php, test underscore register.php. That's the file I'm going to create later on. Okay, save it, and I put on the testing server. So next lessons, I'm going to create a file for the registrations, which will be test register.php. That's the file we'll create. Okay, then we'll link with this file. Yeah, thank you so much. and see you in the next lesson.